Sweet. Sounds good.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about tea breaks with Hanan, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Is that right?
You are.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yep.
I was a little nervous about it. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce it, but we'll see. Okay.
No,
Awesome.
you're good. I usually joke that it's like ha ha, and then like non, like the bread.
Nice.
Hanan.
Haha, Nan.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool.
Hanan. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. So, I have like a couple questions. So I just want you to tell me about yourself and what you do, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Cool. So I'm going to preface really quickly that if you hear any growling or barking, I have 3 dogs. So
Okay, my kids are upstairs too, so yeah, there might be noise on my end too, so it's all good.
All right. Sounds good. Cool. So like you mentioned, my name is Hanan. I am currently located in Detroit, Michigan, but I love traveling and I consider myself an earthian more than anything. I am a mindset and manifestation coach, but I also do on the side, I have a job. I'm a health coach and I'm also a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. And now I can add podcast host.
Yes, I'm excited about your podcast. I'm excited to go listen to it. So at the end, I'll get all your information, like your Instagram and everything, so people can find you. Oh, the music just started playing on my phone. Okay. Awesome. So, what's going on with my phone? I don't know.
Is it randomly when Instagram plays? Because sometimes when I
Yeah,
forget
I
to
think
turn
that might be it. I'm just going to turn my phone off so we don't have any more interruptions.
Perfect.
Cool. So I want to talk to you about tolerance breaks, or tea breaks as you like to call them, and I love that name for it. I think it's really cool. So yeah, I just want to know, like, whatever you could tell me about them, really. So why you take them and when you take them and maybe who should take them, stuff like that.
Perfect. I might need you to remind me of, things to
no
add.
No problem.
Okay, cool. So basically, tea breaks are tolerance breaks. That's pretty much the acronym of it. There are different kinds of tea breaks. There's tea breaks where you don't smoke for a certain amount of days, or you smoke every couple days, or you kind of switch in and out. And there are tea breaks where you specifically only use the medicinal herb for like meditation or ways to elevate you.
Okay.
I think I first learned about tea breaks when I first initially started smoking, which was like 2013, 14.
Okay.
Like hard, because I used to smoke while I drink, and I've definitely reduced my drinking since I started smoking more, which I see as a pattern with a lot of people.
Yes, me too in the past too, drinking and smoking, and I'd always have like really bad experiences when that happened. And I think it's because alcohol kind of is a low vibration mixed with like the higher vibration of the herb, so it's kind of confusing.
Yep. And then if you drink a lot and you also smoke at the same time, it creates what people call the spins, which is like you're drunk and then you also have a high, so you feel like the world's kind of spinning. I kind of like that little bit because I like that experience, but then too much of it just makes you feel blah.
Yeah, kind of nauseous and icky, right?
Exactly. And so I thought, I've been smoking every single day, and my partner told me, because I started smoking with him because he was a stoner before, when he met me. I actually tried to have him quit, which is
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That didn't work, okay?
And so, no, not at all. I'm more of a smoker now than he is. But so it was then that I was like, wait a minute, like I'm constantly smoking all the time. And initially I told him like I didn't really like it that much. Even though I was a productive stoner, I still realized that I used it at the end of the day to kind of just like relax, which there's nothing wrong with it relaxing. But I found it as a pattern that whenever I feel stressed of the day or anything like that, I would just smoke. And it wasn't like I smoked once. It was like bowl after bowl while like mindlessly watching TV or eating or something like that. And eventually I was like, I'm not getting as high as I initially was. And then he told me, he's like, yeah, that's because when you smoke a lot, you kind of get a tolerance for it, and you kind of have to like up it, like use dabs or more concentrates. And he was like, but you do know that if you pause and you stop, your body will kind of adjust to it. And once you smoke again, your tolerance will be lower or higher. I mean, you'll get high.
We'll need less to get high, right? Yes.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. So when do you take them personally? So I guess it's when you notice you're falling into that kind of unproductive pattern and just using it as like more of an escape than to propel you forward kind of thing. Okay, I like.
And so that's one situation where I would do that, is if I'm noticing myself smoking too much. The other time that I do it is if I realize that I'm in a spiritual rut or a spiritual stagnation.
Okay.
And so once I notice that, it's like, okay, there you notice what is causing that spiritual stagnation sometimes. And it was about 6 or 7 months ago that I noticed that I could take tea breaks only while meditating. And that was when I started meditating every single morning and only smoking pot in the morning when I meditated. And it was at that time when I noticed my manifestation started happening. My mood was elevated. I started taking action on the things that I wanted to do. And like 6 months ago, I was in like a really bad rut. Like a lot of my launches failed, my travels failed. And so I was like, what am I doing with life? Like, what the fudge? Sorry, I don't know if.
That's okay. You could swear.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Okay, awesome.
We're easy going over here.
And and then I noticed, like, not only is a tea break good for like when you don't want to rely on it, but it's also really good when you want to expand and elevate your meditation sessions or your spiritual journey, and the intention is there for that.
Yeah, I'm big on cannabis and intention. I'm sure you know that from my group and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about intention. And when you're not really consciously setting that intention, you're just kind of on autopilot, and anything in your subconscious can kind of take over. And sometimes that's not serving you. So I love that. I think that's very powerful. So do you take them often, or just like once in a blue moon? Like, how frequently do you take a break?
Okay. So I don't take tea breaks too often. I take tea breaks maybe every few months. I would think in my mind, like kind of every quarter.
Okay.
But when, like I said, when I notice that I'm in a really big rut, it's like, okay, what am I doing that is kind of keeping me in this, or at least keeping me in this pattern? And a lot of it is the fact that I'm doing the habits that I would do every day, and smoking was part of it. It was a big part of it. And so, yeah, so every few months, unless I notice like I really need to, or unless if my partner wants me to go on a tea break with him, then it's like, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I have personally never taken a tea break on purpose. Like sometimes I'll run out and not be able to get some for a couple days, which isn't a huge deal, but sometimes it's like, oh my God, I just need some pot. But
Yes.
yeah, I think I could learn a lot from you, and maybe like just kind of use it more in my spiritual practices, because sometimes I do notice myself, especially at night after my kids go down, it's just smoking bowl after bowl and just kind of mindlessly watching TV. And it's just kind of like a lazy time, which is not bad all the time, but when it's getting in the way of being productive and stuff. Yeah, I think that's a great a tip for people. So I also,
let me add really quickly to that,
Yeah.
is you bring up a great point. It's that recognizing yourself and paying attention to your behaviors, and that has to bring a lot of self-awareness. Like you have to be aware, like, yeah, that I'm doing it, and so self-awareness is a big part of it.
That's awesome. And just like having this conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, like I could use a break once in a while. So I also want to ask you how you connect with the plant spiritually. So like what would you do in your meditation practice or your spiritual practice, and like how you incorporate into that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say ahead, like in advance, that spiritually, I started using the plant spiritual 6 months ago, or 6 or 7 months ago, like a few months ago is when I
It's
began
pretty
it.
recent for me, about a year now, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And so what I would do before I do it, usually, again, it's with my meditation. So I have a process. So I would first go to a peaceful place. And then let me actually show you my current peaceful place really quickly.
I'd love to see it. That'd be awesome.
And it's in my closet. So I
Nice.
always like to tell people that if there's a use space, make it any place, just to get
just a
that.
corner of a room, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let me switch it over here. All right, so this is where I meditate. So I sit here. I would close the door, and I would just complete darkness. It would be so easy to meditate. And then I have my crystals here, and like my tarot decks, and kind of everything that makes me feel zen. And so I would turn on some of my sage, and that's usually I turn on the sage. Then I turn on the soft meditation music, and then I would take the pot, set my intention of what I wanted to get out of my meditation. Like, what did I want to answer? What answer did I want? Or what am I trying to get out of it? So I would take that intention, smoke the herb, put it out, and then meditate.
Awesome. Cool. How long do you meditate for on a daily basis? Like, is it like 20 minutes, half an hour?
I like to always start with just saying just 15 minutes, just do 15 minutes, but they usually end up going to 30 minutes to an hour.
Because you get to like such a peaceful place and you just want to stay there, right?
Yeah,
I feel that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the herb too helps with the mind too, so that your mind is not constantly racing and you're not trying to force thoughts away. You know, you're
you can kind of sink into it, right? That's how I
yes,
describe it. I feel my body just almost like at rest. It's a weird, it's hard to describe if you don't know what it feels like. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Yep, sinking into it, I think, is a really good term.
Yeah, like that's how I feel. I just like sink. And me, I usually meditate in my bed. I usually lay down. I usually put headphones in. I meditate around 11 every day because that's when my youngest goes down and nobody else is in the house and it's nice and quiet. And that's like my opportunity. So that's when I like really get to have that opportunity to do that. So that's awesome. I do very similar to you. I just kind of like rest. I set my intentions. I smoke it, and then I just kind of fall into the meditative state for as long as I possibly can, and then I usually have like the rest of my day is super productive and awesome. So that's awesome.
Especially in the morning.
In the morning. Yeah, I need to start waking up earlier before my kids so I could set myself up for like that part of the morning, because usually it's just chaos and hectic and getting ready for school, and so that's why at 11 that's when I like, okay, restart.
Yeah. Initially, when I started doing it a few months ago, my partner would have to get up early in the morning to go to work. So I'd get up before the sun came up, and I'd close my eyes, go into my meditation, and just go into a complete Zen state. And then 30 minutes come by, and the sun's up. So I'd close my eyes, and it's dark, and then open up, and there's light.
Oh, that's
cool. So beautiful.
That is. Yeah. Awesome. So do you like specifically choose different strains for your spiritual practices? And do you have like different strains that you like more recreational use? Like what's
such a good question.
Yeah,
I've never thought about it, to be honest.
No?
I mean, I know well, the difference between indica and sativa. I like sativa in the morning and usually indica in the evening, which is, you know, sativa, stamina, indica couch. So it's kind of and I don't actually, mainly because I'm in a state that just became legal, so I can't go to like a dispensary and purchase a specific strain.
Okay.
So I usually kind of take what I can get through wherever I can get until it becomes legal here. And back in Colorado, I used to because I lived in Colorado for 4 years. I used to love Blue Dream. Blue Dream was just my shit for everything. Like it doesn't matter whether I was meditating, whether I was chilling with friends. Blue Dream just did it for me. And then what's strawberry something is another strain. I forget what the name was. But yeah, I actually need to start paying attention to that. Do you have like I would love to hear like if.
Well, when I'm just kind of learning about that as myself, like through myself, but I know when it comes to kind of balancing your chakras, a really heavy indica is good for grounding, which makes sense, right? Because you kind of sink into it. And then a 50-50 for your heart space. So you just kind of keep going up from a heavier indica to something like a 50-50 sativa indica. And then your higher chakras, you want a really high THC sativa for your third eye and your crown to like expand that part of your mind. So as I'm learning that, I'm kind of experimenting with it, and it's kind of fun because I noticed indicas are a much different kind of meditation experience. It's more of a sinking feeling, and when you're with a higher sativa, it's more of a floaty kind of feeling. Yeah, so it's kind of cool to just kind of experiment with that. So I'm going to be talking to a couple of people about this. I'm hoping like getting different perspectives on different strains and stuff is going to be kind of exciting. And just
I really look forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
And I need to watch your videos too on the chakras, because I think that would be so knowledgeable for me.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I had a lot of fun, and I throw in a ton of tips to help you balance each chakra and stuff like that too. So yeah,
I love that.
Enjoy that. Yeah. Okay, so I had one last question. Actually, no, we covered that. I asked you like what ritual you have. So basically, that's all I wanted to know, and I really appreciate your time. And just tell people where they can find you and follow you and your podcast and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. No, I really appreciate this, and it's very, very. I love connecting to others, and so I am honored to.
I love your energy too. You just seem like such a happy, uplifting person. I love it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm on Instagram at Happy Rich Hippie. I am also on, I have a Facebook community called the Happy Abundant Hippies, which you're a part of.
Yeah, I just joined the other day. I'm excited.
Yep. And then I just recently launched a podcast. It's on iTunes just today, got approved.
And what's it
Happy
called?
Abundant Hippies.
Happy Abundant Hippies. Okay, I'm gonna have to go download your podcast because I'm excited to listen to it. Awesome. So
Thank you.
I'll put everything in the description of the video so people can find you and go click and follow and check out your podcast, because I love what you got going on too. So thank you so much for meeting with me today. I can't wait to
thank you.
post it and have it live. So I'll let you know when all that happens. And yeah.